So Sennheiser recently released their new HD450BTs, and thanks to a new FCC filing, we know that Sony is going to be releasing their new Watcha 710N in the next few months. But that got me wondering, when are we going to see an updated version to Audio-Technica's SR50BTs? Now, for those who may not know, the SR50BTs are a great pair of $200 headphones. I'm even willing to say that the SR50BTs are my favorite pair of $200 headphones to recommend. But they definitely have a lot of room for improvement. So here's my wish list of what I would like to see on the updated version of the SR50BTs, and when I think they'll come out. So first off, there aren't any FCC filings that would suggest that a replacement to the SR50BTs are imminent. In fact, all of the products that are listed on Audio-Technica's application list have all been released. But just going off of Audio-Technica's track record, I think it's likely that we'll see an updated version of the SR50BTs at IFA 2020, which takes place in late August or early September, because IFA 2018 is where the SR50BTs were first announced. So it might still be a while. Now, obviously, one of the first things that I want to see on these updated SR50BTs is USB-C charging, which I think is a safe bet because Audio-Technica's new active noise cancelling truly wireless earbuds, the ANC 300TWs, great name by the way, have USB-C charging. But here's the real interesting thing. If these updated SR50BTs do have USB-C charging, they'll be the first Audio-Technica over-ear headphones to do so. Because all of Audio-Technica headphones up until now are still using a micro USB port, which is not a good thing in 2020. Now, when it comes to the audio jack, I'm not too worried about Audio-Technica getting rid of their audio jack on their new SR50BTs, pretty much because of their branding and reputation. Now, having an audio jack on a pair of headphones might seem obvious, but it's something that's starting to happen now. Sennheiser got rid of the audio jack on their $120 HD350BTs, and Apple got rid of the audio jack on their $300 Beats Solo Pros. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of the audio jack on their upcoming Beats Studio Pros, which are probably right around the corner. And I just don't think that we're ready to get rid of the audio jack on headphones just yet. Now, yeah, Bluetooth is getting better, but if you're a content creator, you still want to be able to plug in and monitor your audio if you're working on a project. And even if you're just an average user, you want to be able to do something as simple as plugging your headphones in to watch an in-flight movie if you're on an airplane. Now, when it comes to the overall design and build quality of these headphones, I actually wouldn't change anything. The SR50BTs have exceptional build quality. Now, they're not as durable as the Sennheiser HD450BTs, but these headphones do feel very premium. And they also put the Sony Watcha 700N to shame, because they stay basically silent whenever you flex them. And when it comes to comfort, again, I wouldn't change anything. These headphones have very little clamping force, so they're big head approved, and their ear cups are fairly spacious, so they should be able to fit most ear types. Now, they aren't as spacious as the ear cups found on the Watcha 700N, but they're way better than the ear cups found on Sennheiser's headphones. So personally, I wouldn't care if they changed their ear cups or not, but a little extra room in the ear cups is always welcomed. But something that I definitely do want to see changed on the SR50BTs are their touch controls. For me, the touch controls on these headphones are their biggest drawback. First off, they're on the left side, so as a righty, they can be a little awkward to use. And since you have to touch on specific parts of this touchpad, it can be very hard to know where you are. This isn't a gesture-based touchpad like on what's found on the Sony XP900N or Sony 1000XM3. So I would much rather just have physical control buttons like what's found on the HD450BTs or Watcha 700N. And besides, you can maybe even use the cost and space savings from getting rid of the touchpad and increase the battery life on these headphones from 28 hours to 35 hours. But finally, the last major thing that I want to see improved on the SR50BTs is their active noise cancellation. Now, the SR50BTs are blocking out a suitable amount of noise for a pair of $200 headphones. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. have just heard, the SR50BTs block out a similar amount of noise compared to the Sennheiser HD450BTs and Sony WH-700N. But if you want to get nitpicky, then the SR50BTs do struggle the most here to block out higher frequency sounds. But more importantly, when I was doing this ANC test, I noticed that the SR50BTs had the most amount of cabin pressure here. Now, it's nowhere near as bad as the Bose QC35s, and it doesn't give me headaches, but it is noticeable. And these days, we're starting to see more and more headphones that have basically zero cabin pressure. That's actually one of the main improvements that we saw from the Sennheiser HD 4.50 BTNCs to the new HD 450BTs. So here's hoping that Audio-Technica manages to reduce the cabin pressure on their new SR50BTs. But overall, the SR50BTs are still a great pair of $200 ANC headphones. They feel premium, they fit great, and they sound amazing if you appreciate a neutral sound signature. And they even have features that are completely missing on both the HD 450BTs and WH-700N, like an ambient mode so that you can still be aware of your surroundings when you're walking around the city. And they also have a conversation mode so that you can quickly talk to someone without having to take your headphones off. And the fact that these headphones are so good already just makes making this wishlist video a little harder than usual. But obviously on the new SR50BTs, we want to see USB-C charging and improvements to the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Personally, I would really like for them to get rid of the touchpad on these headphones, but if they choose to redesign the ear pads to make them a little bit more spacious, I wouldn't mind it. Now, would I recommend that you get these headphones today with the suspicion that we'll see the new SR50BTs at IFA 2020? If the HD 450BTs are too small for you, and if you can't wait for the Sony WH-710N to drop, then yeah, I would still recommend that you get these headphones. But if you're watching this video in the summer, I would say hold off and let's see what happens at IFA 2020. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick out other products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.